back to the channel, friends. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm Carlos, and this is our journey on Pico Island. A beautiful day today, by the way. We had a really nice snowfall here. We're in Ontario, around the Streetsville, Peel area, close to Oakville and Burlington, where I was raised. We had a beautiful snowfall. Woke up this morning, did the shovel the driveway, a very Canadian thing to do, especially in the winter, obviously. And the temperature kind of just went straight down compared to where it was because the day before was really cold. Yeah, but that's the way it is here in Canada in the winter and some parts of the United States and around the world. But yes, I woke up this morning and decided, you know what, I'm going to do a video today. I'm going to try anyway. This is what I'm doing right now. I got this email yesterday from a follower of ours. So she's been apparently a follower for a while now. He sent me an email, and it was a really nice email. I'll be honest with you, and I'll read a little bit of it in a little bit, just to let you know. I said, I have to kind of do a video based on you know on what that's on the email, which is to do with someone interested in going over to the Azores or Portugal or some other areas of Portugal, considering retiring or semi-retiring, and they're kind of looking and have been looking, and it's pulling them. So that's what the email to me was about, and this is what this video is going to be about. It's just about other people like this gentleman here that sent me the email that are considering the move, or either full-time or part-time. So I'm going to read a little bit about this email I received. Now, just to tell you, I do get similar emails, even with this demographic, and that have to do with the same thing. I do get them maybe once or twice every 2 weeks. Once a week, I get them. They're very nice. He was very nice to send me this email and the kind words. I'm not going to get into the whole email, the personal stuff, where he is and lives. I'll just say that his name is Wally. Shout out to you. Appreciate your email. Very nice. And also to say that the, the the people that send emails like this are always sort of in this area, very nice, and and looking for that next venture in their lives, right? So that's the link that they all have, right? And a lot of them are considering Portugal, somewhere in Portugal, the Azores, Madeira, the mainland, and a lot, and they all obviously have come across our videos about Pico Island and some of the Azores, and yeah, I really appreciate them, following all this time and making comments and sending me emails. So I'll just basically say, yeah, the beginning is just he's introducing himself to me. And but I'll just start here. Let me just see here. Where can I start this? Okay, here we go. I will turn 66 in a few months, okay, and plan to hand over the reins, I guess, of his business. Him and his wife are considering retiring, and he says, I will turn 66, and he's going to retire in 2026. So goes on to say, we have been pondering our retirement options for a while now, and over the last year have researched Portugal extensively. Portugal in general, and the Azores, and perhaps Madeira. In particular, seem, as you are fond of saying, to check all of the boxes. While all options remain open, I really want to take a deep dive into the Azores and Portugal, and don't think there's much else we can learn at this point without putting our boots on the ground. I want you to know that you two have earned our trust when the time comes. So that's nice to hear. That's what I mean. It's very nice that he would say that. Um, I was intrigued. Okay, then he just basically goes on to talk a little bit more. He actually says, I was intrigued by your mention in your last video of possible October tour. He seems to be interested in that. And so he says here as well, we are also evaluating the various Azores visitation packages listed on your website. I'm glad that people are doing that. That's why we have the website. In any event, I wanted to reach out and introduce myself to let you know that I will be in touch, likely with some questions about your offerings, and also to say thank you for the time and effort you put into the informative and wonderful videos. Also, I have been aware of your business for some time. I agree that you really should promote your business more. I appreciate what you do. So thanks again, Wally. Yeah, this is nice. I like to get these because it makes us feel good, obviously, and it just reassures us that we're doing. It is a livelihood, but it's more than that. That we're creating. There's a service here. There's a link. There's a when we kind of help in any way, either just giving them a phone number of a contact, or when we're on the island with them. Um, this is what it's all about, right? Sharing this place. We're obviously more familiar where we are, which is Pico Island and the islands of the Azores. But we're pretty actually, we know quite a bit about the whole country. I've been in the travel business for over 30 years, and we also work with someone who's an expert like Wallace Egidio. So we have no problem of advising on the whole country. But we are on Pico Island, the Triangle Islands, close to Fayal and St. George. And I think I just wanted to read this because this is what this video is going to be about, and it kind of sets the tone for the video. All right, so let me ask some questions here. So some of you that are watching this might fit into the same might fit in just like Wally does. Okay, and these are the questions I would ask. So, for example, are you thinking of exploring the idea of living full time or part time in the Azores or the rest of Portugal? How did you arrive at this decision? So this is the question I would ask Wally, for example, or anyone like him. How did you arrive at this decision? Was it a video, a friend that you know from the Azores or Portugal that's been talking to you about their own country? You can kind of say, you know what, this might be for me. Because at the end of the day, what I'm finding is that the ones that are most serious, which I think Wally is, are the ones that eventually are the next step is to get boots on the ground, like he says, and I also have said that in previous videos. So the key is, how serious are you? I think that's the question, and you will know that. You'll basically say, you or your significant other come to the decision and say, yeah, you know what, I'm planning to retire in a couple of years, or I just want to, I want to go and live somewhere else. Fall apart. As soon as you say that, you start looking at places around the world, and then some places just show up that pretty that you didn't even know about. Like a lot of people tell me they never heard of Pico Island. Some of them not even the Azores. So this is how it is. So it's basically, how serious are you? Okay, um, or is it just a thought at this point? So which is fine. People, that's where you start. Thinking. Never thought of doing this. Maybe it's easier than I think. And I think this is where, when I'm dealing with someone that wants a little bit extra help, I have to know this. I have to figure this out. So, or are you starting to think, when you get to the point where you're starting to think, is this possible? Could it be? Then automatically you will start researching, basically, um, looking at different ways to find out about this place that you weren't too familiar with. Like, and in that area, we can help, and we have been helping. Obviously, we have our videos, totally free videos. We have video chats with some people that are really serious to kind of get extra information. We've done workshops in this subject, the Azores Portugal workshop. We have an e-version of it, and we are doing exploration packages. And this is the area where I think, when the feet on the ground, or boots on the ground, like Wally says, that these exploration trips, and they're specific, right? Because that's the difference. Yes, you're going to be seeing the country that's part of it, but it's not just a trip to see, a castle. It's more in depth. That's why it has to be designed very specific for the individual. Okay, and we do that, and this is something we want to do more of, because I think the people that wind up doing this, it really makes a difference, as choosing the right place. To get feet on the ground, boots on the ground, to just get to explore the country, the different areas of the country, is the only way. Okay, it's the only way to really find that right place that's suited for you. It's a feeling you get. I mentioned many times when I'm talking in this subject about feelings, that you connect to a spot, a place. It could be on an island. There's 9 islands of the Azores. You're going to connect more to one. Then, okay, that's where I'm going to focus in on that island. But the islands have different areas, right? So why that area? The south side, the north, the east. These are all things that make a difference. I mean, none of this will be different in this. It's happened to Laura and myself. We have a bit more connection because I was born there. Laura has been going there for 12, 14 years, but people we've talked to that are there now, they connected to an area of Pico Island, for example, or if they're in Fayal or one of the other islands. And that's the only ways to get your boots on the ground. And again, is to take your time and to really put your feet up, look around, get the feeling. Don't always be moving everywhere fast, because something's going to connect, or not. Because, after all this, you might decide, oh, it's not what I thought, and you're not going to connect with it. So after you do all those Google searches on different things to do with the country, after you watch 100 videos of different islands or the mainland, after you do all that research where you had that initial thought, but then the feeling will not go away. You keep searching. You know now at this point where, you know what, I have to investigate this some more. You do reach out to someone like ourselves to have a bit of a discussion on certain things that are not coming up on the videos or some other things. Again, it doesn't have to be us, but I believe that that's important. Someone with experience that have the from experience of being there, that doing all the things that you do that you need to do when you're living there, either full or part time, not just as a visitor. No, you have to go where people are really have their boots on the ground. And I think that's who you're going to connect with. Obviously, not everybody is trustworthy. I understand that. We're all in that same boat. We just have to feel that connection with whoever is helping. We try to do our best, pass on that over, pass the connections that we've made over to you because we trust them. So that's it. I mean, that's the important thing where when you're there, when you go somewhere, even we're talking about Portugal and the Azores because this is what we're talking about. That's where we are, but it could be somewhere else around the planet. When you fall in love with it, a lot of people will call it their piece of paradise. I think it's wonderful because some of them years later are still loving it, and I love those to talk about different people that are in different places, but basically you're in the same book doing the same thing, right? How many of you have for example, you found some platforms because the next step is, well, I can see myself living there, either renting something or buying. A lot of people will buy something, either full time or part time. They'll buy something. Different platforms like Idealista or one of the other platforms from real estate companies. So how many of you are doing that right now? So that means when you start doing this sort of thing, you're now on that road, right? How about when you and your significant other sit around for days on end, and just discuss the possibilities, how it would be like to visualize yourself making this move, your move to this other place. Um, how many glasses of wine or beer or whatever drink that you choose that you just kind of, and it becomes really fun to do. I remember Laura and I did this for a whole 2 years because we're doing this, I think in 2021, we started this whole process. 2020, 2021 is COVID. I remember that. But before that, there's a lot of planning, a lot of discussion, a lot of fun times kind of going back and forth. And I know when you're doing a lot of that and you revisit something a month later, even the next year, and you're still in the same mindset, that means it's real. This is how we knew it was real, that we needed to do it. It's not just wanting to do it, so we need it. And we're very thankful that we did. Also, like I mentioned earlier, not everybody is the same, right? There's Laura and I will be different than Wally or other people that are there now and that are trying to do this. We're all different. We all need different things. Some people want to just go and live somewhere full time. They already know that. Some people just, they still love where they are and they want the best of both worlds, right? So then, you're different. You're going to do it that way. That's more like us. We are there, but not 12 months out of the year. um, that's works for us at this point. Does it mean I couldn't live there 12 months of the year? I could, no doubt about it. Laura and I know that. The time there goes by so fast. Sometimes just one thing we kind of look at each other. I can't believe 3 months just went by, or four. So these are the things where you have to think, and everyone's doing their own. You all have your own stories, right? So you're in it's your story, so you control it. And at the end of the day, you just want to be happy, fulfilled, and healthy. I think that's important. So if some people, some places that like the Azores, because of all the nature, and we believe in that, it really affects us that way. I believe it makes us healthier, gives us an extra help in that, because it's not easy sometimes to break your routines. And if people watch our last video, I'm really trying to start 2025 in a healthier way, and Azores are going to help, right? Now it's all still, you have to make those decisions and break those habits. But I think when I'm there, the nature is always there. From the minute you wake up, from to when you go to bed, it's there. The birds, the air, the transition of clouds, just the simplest things. The cows and goats and sheep and the landscapes and obviously the ocean, because that's a big one. We're on an island. You might decide to be in the interior of Portugal. There's no ocean there, but beautiful mountains. We have a beautiful mountain called Pico. It's a volcano. It's beautiful and a lot of lava. Obviously, the Azores is a combination, I would say, of Iceland, New Zealand, Hawaii. It's pieces of all those three. But at the end of the day, you're in the middle of a beautiful ocean called the North Atlantic, and looks really remote, but it's not. We love calling it our home or one of our homes, but we cannot imagine not being there, not spending time there. Uh, this time, it's actually, by the time we get back, which is next month, it's the longest we've been out of there since 2020. It's going to be about 9 months. Feels a little weird. We get the itch going back. We got the itch probably after being here for 2 or 3 months. Does it mean we don't like where we are and our friends or family? My mom's here, my brothers, that's great. But I'm so connected. I was born there. The island never left me. I guarantee you. It's in the blood. Laura now is like a local. I think her blood's changed and it's like mine now. And she has island blood in her, and she has Pico Island blood because it's the way it is. So we hope that other people feel the same, get the same excitement, get shivers even talking about it. But yeah, we see other people exactly like us doing it, are like enjoying these islands like we do. And I think we just want you to follow Wally or other people that we were in contact with just recently that been have come back and they just can't stop talking about where they were, the island that they were in, and just wanting to go back quickly. And I think that's amazing. Let's answer the question: what is an exploration trip or an exploration package to do with what we've been talking about? Okay. Um, the way I see it or we see it is it's just a way for you to really explore if what you are feeling or thinking already is possible. Okay, if it's going to be what you think. For example, let's use this Pico Island or the Azores. What I thought, what I have seen, does it agree with me when I'm there? The only way is obviously to be there. We've discussed that. But you have to answer questions. Okay, you have to find out what's the country like. The politics of it, the health of it, health, system, cost of living. And you might already have an idea because you've done some research, but when you're there, you get to see it firsthand. That's this way again, firsthand. That's the key. I can tell you a lot of things and what we're going through, our experience, but still, you have to experience it firsthand. But by exploring, by having this exploration trip, you might have more than one, right? It might not be just one, depending on how much time you have. But is it when you start seeing things, it's not just that. It's not like, oh, we know it's beautiful. It has the landscapes, look at the blue ocean, the skies, and all that. It's the feeling, like I mentioned earlier. You need something quickly where it's almost like spiritual. I don't know. I'm not. I'm Catholic, but not. I don't practice like that. And but sometimes you got to feel spiritual in some areas. I think that's important to me and Laura, where we kind of have those moments. Um, and if it lives up to your expectations, right? And you'll know right on the spot there if it does. Then everything else you can figure out, right? But I think this is what an exploration trip does, right? You have to feel it's not just feeling connected to the country. You don't have to break it down if you already if you have to see the whole country, great. I mean, how long do you have? You can see it. Something's going to pull you to wherever you're going to wind up in central Portugal. Is it going to be Madeira, the Azores? These are the regions. So these are the areas of Portugal that you have to choose from. But you have to yeah, and then when you pick the island, let's say you pick Fayal Island, for example, or Pico Island, St. George, San Miguel, the biggest island. Then how about the areas of the island? Some of these islands are small, but some are bigger. Like again, when you're on there, you have to move around. You have to just sit and relax because that's you gotta. There's a lot involved here, right? And it all has to do with the feeling of what you're going to get um, when you're on the island. So these exploration trips are very important, I believe, to discover that, especially if you're not, especially if you don't want to wind up making any quick decisions and then, regretting them. And I think that initial trip is key to do. The type of exploration trip that would be designed for you would all depend on a few things, and everybody's the same. Everybody has the time or the budget, so it would really depend how long do you have to go. If you can do longer, it's better. Then you can do it slower as you go, because I mean, you might decide you want to see different places in the country. Maybe you won't get to. You might have to do more exploration trips as far as just figuring out which part of the country. That's really up to you. People that are coming to me, they've already kind of chosen either in our case because we do the videos it's in the Azores, they're asking for the Azores, right? So it's already been focused down kind of, okay, I know it's the Azores, so um yeah, so the key, yeah, so the exploration trips, as soon as we know that and have the discussion, because that's important to really know, I have to understand where you're at and what you have decided on already. Okay, and then from there, it's really it's fairly straightforward. The key is to have a base or basis. So if you're already geared towards one island or two or three, we can create where there's you are staying in three different places to experience them as a local, so to speak, right? So the longer you're there, the better it is. So we tailor it that way. If someone only had a week, we just did one recently where they're coming over in the spring. They only had 10 days. So, but they're already kind of focused on the triangle. And so it all depends. Nothing is not, everything's possible, again, depending on you. Um, because at the end of the day, you're going to get to the point, might be your first trip or the second one, but you're going to get to the point and what you want is to say, yes, I can see myself here. I can see. You might say, I can see myself here and there. Okay, then you've already geared it down. Now it's just a matter of just, um, doing that at the trip where that's all you're gonna say. Okay, I can go for a month, and this is where I'm gonna do. Right. So it's these trips are designed for you to get to that point where you can say, this is it. I found it. Okay. You'll leave back to your country and with something now that you didn't have before. You're now taking a part of that place that you just sent with you, okay? Because now it's in your head, it's inside, and now you have contacts. Obviously, we're there. If you're in the Triangle Islands, we're there personally a lot of times to be the link. Part of the exploration trip to introduce you to people that we trust, that kind of thing. But I'm not going to get into too much of that. But the key is that we work together. And I'll take you before this video ends. I'll just show you the area of the website. You could go there afterwards. I'll put the link. Okay, and that's it. That's an exploration. Why the exploration package or trip is important, and those are only for those that are serious. You're not going to go there. Is obviously it's going to cost to get there, the flights, and again when you're flying, depending where you're flying from, obviously, you're closer if you're flying from Europe or the US or Canada. Lots of flights. It's not hard to get there fairly quickly. From Toronto, you're there in about 5 hours. Boston, about 4. Sacramento, which is the Pacific side, probably add 3 hours to that. So, I mean, anything's possible. We don't do the flights. I can give you some tips on them because I used to do them, but it's more to do with the land part of it. Car. Some of these might need a car. That's we'll package that in if they want to really feel that they're living there now. Possibilities are endless. I think that's how you have to kind of attack this. Is let's see when I'm ready to get over there. You might just to do it all on your own. Either way, just get over. That's the key. But just know that we can help you with that. We have some expertise behind us, support, and it's our livelihood. We believe that the key, after all that's been said on this video, is not to rush. It really is. Don't make any decisions you might regret. It's to really think how it could be, do your research, but then get over there. Those are really it. When you're there, try to do it as slow as we can when we organize these trips, or if you do it on your own. Try to put yourself where you can really honestly take it all in properly. These islands are places of the only way to really appreciate them is not to zip through them. It's to let the island grab you, okay, and hold you, you know. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but it really is like that, you know. You'd be surprised when you're around those islands and things would just hold you or grab you, and you're always in awe of it. We've been there a lot. I mean, I've been going for my whole life. I'm 60 now, and I still get taken by a lot of the stuff that, and I know, you know, that I'm still learning about the island of Pico and what it does to me, and things that I definitely appreciate it, and do not take it for granted. You know, I think sometimes it's easy to do that. Um, so key is to connect with the island when you're there, get that feeling. When you get to that point, you're going to leave the island. You're going to continue these connections now that you have in these contacts that you can continue communicating to get closer to making it reality, whatever that reality is for you, full time, part time, an expat, or just a vacation, a place you can go and spend, 3, 6 months, a year there. It's really up to you. Now, I'm just going to quickly tell you some of the inclusions, and so you can see on the site what the site's all about. For example, if you go into, again, I'll put the link there. I'm just looking at the as I do this. Yeah, it's called Exploration Package. So what happens is this one that we have on here is for the Triangle because that's where we are, but we can extend other islands to it. So don't worry about that. Even with mainland Portugal, there's things we can help you with. Okay, but it's for those again to recap. If you're looking to retire, semi-retire, buy a property, start a business, and much more. At the end of the day, you need to get boots on the ground and do this properly, and that's the only way to do it. Um, Packages usually include obviously the accommodations. There's different to choose from depending on the budget and so forth, and where you need to be, where we feel you need to be. Some of them might have some meals involved. Obviously, transfer. Some might have a car. Again, we tailor it. Um, and we would do a property views. That's because we'll ask you what's your goal with this trip? Do you want to see properties or you just want to just see how the island is? So there's different things, right? Do you want to meet any of our connections? It's really up to you. If you do, okay. So in a lot of cases they do. So you'll get into what these properties are. It's important to see if you already have a gear, even if it's not going to be the Pico Island, for example. But the properties are built the same in all of them. So at least to see what a ruin is, what a rustic house is, what a modern house is. You know, I think it's good to know. If you could already if you can come back with that image in your head, it'd be awesome. The real estate agent, you can connect with them, you can introduce you to them. They can show us around. Local contact connection, the banker, the accountant, things, depending where eventually you're going to need them. You're going to need a bank, um, something through the government notary, a lawyer. All these things are going to be needed. Again, we'll connect you with them. Island activities, if you go whale watching, hiking, this is all could be set up within your exploration trip. Island tours, hopping, you know. Again, this is pretty much what's included. The best, also as far as the time of year, if you're thinking of doing this, and the ones we've done, and we've just started doing them because I'll be honest, when we started doing this video, it was just to promote the islands in the tourism way. But because we opened this up and we showed our house, buying the house, renovating the house, all the ups and downs that we went, we're going to rent the house. So all these things, then we were sharing that and people were asking, discovering these islands for the first time. So we decided this is obviously not, they were asking for advice and all these things, saying, no, this is important, to a lot of people. And, it could also be a good livelihood for us to include in a service. No one's going to be millionaires doing this, but we really enjoyed it. So we have a passion for the island and for what we do. Okay. Um, so then again, I would suggest the off season, anytime outside of, let's say, between June 15th and September 15th. That's the high season, the tourist season. Not that it's mass tourism, but it's still the busiest time. September, October, November, December, April, May, great times to do this. The weather's always nicer than if you go January, February, March, but that's also possible. Okay, we've spent every month, all different 12 months there, and we love it. There's no yeah, sure. The weather is different depending on the month, but it's the island's the same. It's always there. You have the character of the islands. You have the different storms coming through. The ocean is calm one day, blue. It's all good. It's all to do with nature. It's all good for us. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I wasn't supposed to do this. I don't usually have scripts anyways, but I like to talk about something what people are interested in. And after getting that email from Wally and The other ones I've been getting very similar. I decided let's just put this information out there. As far as the video chats, yes, if the ones we do, again, I'll put the link to the services. There's a cost of them, but we do have a preliminary one, like a meet and greet, which you do not have to pay. So if you needed to talk for 20 minutes, sometimes it's easier for some people that are asking all these questions on the email. It's better to have it about a 20-minute, 25-minute conversation. And with us, with me or Laura together. Sometimes it's me alone, sometimes we're together. But this way it might help on the next step. So on that note, um, I hope this was valuable, for you guys that are more interested in doing or thinking, going this road. And yeah, so feel free to comment, send me emails like Wally did. It's very important. I mean, it really helps our small channel grow. And subscribe if you haven't done so. This kind of content, and we talk about a lot of things. We'll be back on the islands. We'll be doing videos on showing the island or the other islands. There's so much we're doing. The fall trip that we're planning, we're gearing towards doing just the Azores. We're not 100% sure, so you can come with us. We'll do a nice trip together. Um, and what else? Yeah, we'll put some other links. I always have links on there to the workshop that I mentioned. And you obviously have the website. You can tap in and just find a little bit more. But we're only a video chat away, even or a phone call if you want to be on video, or an email. Okay, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in on this beautiful Saturday. So hopefully it's beautiful where you are. And I'll see you on the next video. Hello.